Hi everybody, this is Diane, and I'm here with a Scrapistry episode. I've got a pile of pattern paper scraps that I'm going to do something with and use them in my garden binder journals that I'm making. So what I have collected are besides the scraps, my floral punches. So I have this one from Stampin' Up! And this one from Stampin' Up!, which punches out 3 flowers, the scallop circle from Stampin' Up!, and then this one from Fiskars, another flower one. I also have a bunch of other punches with me in case I decide to do something just to build my stash. I am going to be building my stash because everything I make today is not going to be used in the journals. But I want to just go through and select some papers that I think will be nice as a little stacked flower. That is what we're making. So I'm going to take this punch and punch out some of these pastel plaids. And I'll punch out some of the scallop circles. And let's do a couple more pages before we start putting them together. I'm going to use this to punch out these little flowers, which I'm using as the centers or the top of the stack of flowers. So with this punch you get 3 different flowers, different shapes. I'm going to turn them all over so I know exactly what kind of papers I have to choose from when I'm making my stacks. Let's do some of these. You know, I think I might just use that as a journaling spot. This is pretty. Just a scrap of watercolor patterned cardstock. I have a lot of pink, so let's try a different color too. Oh, sorry. Let's try this pretty aqua color. Some little ones out here. And I'll do some more of these. I think I want to get a little bit of red in there, red and yellow, so let's go with this one. So I went on my bus trip with my sister the last couple of days. Tuesday was my birthday, and I pretty much just stayed home and did some work on Tuesday, but in the later afternoon I drove to my sister's. She's about an hour away. So I drove there and I had lunch with her. She took me out for dinner for my birthday, not lunch, dinner. So that was fun. And she had to go to a meeting at her church, but when that was finally over, then we went out for ice cream. So we just had a good time before we even left. But then bright and early, we had to get up super early and be in a town about a half hour away from her house at 5:30 to get on a bus. And we went to Columbia, Maryland, which is very close to Baltimore. And we saw, I didn't realize it was a dinner theater. I don't think she realized it. It was a dinner theater. It was just a bus trip that was arranged with a group of ladies that she's done things with before. And so it was a dinner theater, and it was a theater in the round. So once the meal was over, they cleared up the buffet tables and set things up for the show. And we saw Mamma Mia. It was really fun. I love ABBA's music. And so we just had a blast. But what I didn't like was they didn't give you much time to eat. Like, our table was the last table to be called to go get food off the buffet. So after we were done getting our food, you know, we just started eating, and then they called anybody that wanted seconds could go. And then, you know, we didn't have our plates very long, and they said the ice cream sundae bar only had 5 minutes left. So our ladies at our table had to leave their plates full of food so that they could go get ice cream before they closed the ice cream bar. I didn't go to get ice cream. I just wanted to eat my dinner. But, you know, by the time I was done eating, the ice cream bar was gone. And I don't know, I just felt like I had to rush. But the food was delicious. And the show was good. The performers were good. And we just had so much fun. So it was awesome. And then after that was over, our bus took us to Baltimore, where we got on a little boat, and it took us on a tour of Baltimore Harbor. It was a very slow tour. It was an hour, and it didn't go very fast. So I was really hoping for the breeze, because it was hot. But so this is just a strip. I'm just going to get these two littler flowers with this. All of them won't fit, but I can get some of them, and that's good. So then we had some time just to walk around the inner harbor, they call it, of Baltimore, where there's lots of shops and restaurants. So we found a Johnny Rockets to have our dinner. Just my sister and I did. We weren't with the other people. And then we just sat by the harbor, because the sun was going down by then and it wasn't so hot, and it was just lovely and peaceful just sitting there by the harbor. Then we got back on the bus, came back home, back to her house, and we got back to where her car was at midnight, a little after midnight, and then had to drive back to her house. So it was a late night. But I'm home now, and I had a good time. I don't need the hearts. Okay, so I have a variety of these flower shapes cut in many different patterns and colors. So all I want to do is layer some. That's all. It's just going to be like a little floral cluster to put on a page. The scallop circle is the largest one, so I'm going to put that on the bottom and just play. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to try to match anything. These are very fun and eclectic journals that I'm making. They're not matchy-matchy. They're just fun. So I'm just gonna, without even really concentrating too hard, stack some pieces together and put a staple in the middle, and that's done. So this is a really quick and simple Scrapistry. You can tell that I like the quick and simple ones, right? Quick and easy. Because at this point in my life, right now, during this summer, I don't have a lot of time for crafting, and so everything has to be quick and easy. And I don't mind showing you the quick and easy things, because you probably need some quick and easy things too. You could glue these, you could sew them, but I just want to staple. That way I won't have messy glue on my fingers when I'm done. And I don't have to take the time to use my sewing machine. See what happens if I layer all of these kinds of flowers together. And I can just get this project done quickly. So this is all I'm going to show today. Well, no, I might use some other punch shapes. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to that, but I have them right next to me if I want to. I'll just do a few of these, and then maybe we'll try some things with the other punches. See, I could sit in front of the TV and put these together. I've got a lot. I could end up with a lot of floral clusters and be all set for a while. So doing these videos, this one isn't for the design team project, but it's for the same journal. Doing these design team project videos, I'm building up my stash of things, so that's great. Maybe I want to put a different color in between them. How is everybody's summer going? Mine's been very, very busy. Some of it's been busy with good stuff, like going to a wedding and going to see that show with my sister. Some of it's been watching my grandkids, which is good. I enjoy spending time with them. In fact, they're here today. My daughter had to work second shift today. She doesn't normally have to do that, but she did today. So, which was good because I was still at my sister's this morning and I had an hour drive to get home, and I stayed and visited with her for a while before I left. So I got home in time for lunch and just made pancakes for my daughter and for the boys, and then she went to work, and now I've got the boys. So they did some chores for me. Adam washed my dishes, and Teddy did some weeding outside, and I was trying to catch up with some stuff inside. Now I've got them watching a movie downstairs so I can do this video. They are watching The House with a Clock in Its Walls. We have the book. We started reading the book together, but we don't have much chance to get to be together and read the book. So we haven't gotten very far with it. So I'm letting them watch the movie today, and then we might read another chapter in the book after that. So I'm going to try to get 1 or 2 videos done while they're watching the movie. Okay, you get the point. I've got lots and lots of flowers up there. So let's see what other shapes we have. I already had these heart shapes cut out I had done those with just a scrap of paper before. So sometimes when I have scraps of paper that I want to just clean up, not deal with, I'll just get my punches out and start punching shapes and set them aside to use later. That's a really good pattern here for hearts, I think. I'm not sure how I'm going to layer these things, but I'm just going to punch out some shapes and then see what we can do with them. Most of my punches are Stampin' Up! Punches, the older ones that I've gotten over the years at Stampin' Up! Parties that I've hosted or attended. That reminds me, I'm supposed to do a Stampin' Up! Party in just a week and a half or 2 weeks. Not because I need more stuff, but because I have a friend who is a consultant, a demonstrator, and so I told her that I would do one. Months ago I told her I would do one in July, and then I couldn't do it in July, so I said I would do it in August. August is pretty busy too, but I don't want to postpone it again, so we're doing one. Just do some squares with these butterflies. Thought I had I do have a scallop square. Gotta be able to see where you're putting it. I wouldn't even have to layer anything on these. I would probably layer them on top of something like maybe a piece of fabric so that you can still see the butterfly. And the flowers and the little bees. This is the new style of Stampin' Up! Punch that can compress, so you just release it like that. It saves room in storage. I've got these pretty label, this pretty label punch. Could go along the side, but well, maybe I will do that one. See, it's like a toile pattern, so I could turn this label sideways and use it that way. I just didn't want to put the design sideways, but I guess this will work. Shapes do I have? I have an oval. I have 2 sizes of oval. So I'll do these for the larger. This one with the smaller. I can find it. I just used it. Here it is. don't worry, I won't just keep on punching. We're going to start stacking some of these things together. I have these banner punches too. Well, that's convenient. Okay, let's say that that's enough. If I need any more, I can do more. That's pretty. That would be just a pretty tag. So while I have it in my hand, I am just going to corner punch it and put it in my stash of cards. That would be a beautiful journal tag. All right, now so this one I could do just like this, and maybe when I actually put it in a book, I would take a little die cut flower and put it over here or something, but I'll have the base done. I'll make several of those. You get a lot of punches with one scrap of paper, so if you start doing this, you will end up with a lot of embellishments in a very short amount of time. I do have one more embellishment I want to make with the Artsology library cards, floral library cards. And then I'm actually going to start putting the journals together, getting the pages around and cut. And I have a tool that I got at Michael's, I think it was, when it was on clearance. And I wasn't sure that it would work for what I wanted, but I thought at the clearance price, I don't remember how much the clearance price was, but at that price I thought it would be worth trying. So I got it, and it helps me punch the holes in my pages. So I'll show that to you when I get to that portion of the project. What can I do with the hearts? I do have two sizes of hearts. I forgot about this one. Let's try this. Trying to get one that doesn't have the vertical image. Oh, that looks pretty cool. You can do that. I have the large heart and the label shape and a little heart. There's an oval shape and a little heart. Or try one of these little flowers. That looks cute. You could layer these onto fabric. Burlap. I have some colored burlap I might put behind these. Lace. Other papers, larger papers. So these are just a starting point. Well, I did the banners, but I did them all out of one paper, so I need to do some contrasting banners. That wavy one does not want to come out. It wants to just stick right down in there. You can get punches at a decent price at Hobby Lobby when they have their punches at half price, or their Paper Studio products at half price, because they have some Paper Studio punches. So keep an eye out for things like that if you're interested in doing projects like these. You put a little heart in the middle of that. Looking for a contrasting piece again. I already have yellow. To put in the middle of that. I am really looking forward to some time, like having a week where I have actual blocks of time to be in here. Next week, the boys will be with their dad, so I won't be watching them, but I will be watching my granddaughter twice during the week, because she's been going to a summer program through her school, but it's over now. She's in New York, and New York schools start a lot later than Pennsylvania schools, so she'll still be home. I'm going to set these aside and I'm going to use those with other collages with burlap or fabric or lace behind them. So anyway, I don't know when I'm going to have a good week where I actually get some really good time in here crafting. I went back to flowers. But I want to really, I keep mentioning it, but Gina's series on Find Your Style, she's got another episode up that I'm looking forward to watching this evening after the boys go home. But I really want to focus on that and talk to you about my discoveries and my growth through that, I guess. So I guess you get the point, right? We've been doing this for half an hour. Look at all these pieces I have yet to put together, and I can do more. I have lots more paper I can punch, and I've got other shapes I can do. I don't think I used my plain square, and my scalloped oval I didn't do. So maybe I'll punch some more shapes, and then if I had a divided tray, I could put one shape in each little portion of the little tray, and I used to have one of those, but I don't think I have it anymore. But I'll figure something out, and then I can just sit in front of the TV or in front of Gina's video and put some more of these together. So I will show you what we did today. Just a bunch of the flowers. And then some various shapes. And like I said, these will be added. Some of them, a lot of these will probably just be glued to the pages of my garden journals that I'm working on, but some of these others will be added to other pieces. I can have digital or die cut, fussy cut flowers added to this or whatever, and back them with other fabrics and things like that. So this is just a start, a way to use up some scraps in a pretty way. Thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.